Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a video. A lot of people ask me how I lube up my guns, how I lubricate them, and I figured it'd be a good video to do. We'll start off with the 1911, and then I'll show you what I do with my Glocks and the XD and the Beretta and all that stuff. Um, they're fairly similar. You kind of have two types of handguns. You got hammer operated and then the striker fired. Um, Striker fire gets a different treatment. Hammer fire gets a different treatment. So I figured I'll show you how I lube up my guns. So let's get started. I'm gonna tear this down. I'll be right back. Okay, so we got it torn down. Now all I can tell you is the way I do it. Okay, it might not be the right way. You guys might not agree, and if you have a good argument, let me know in the comments below. Um, I'm definitely gonna listen if you see something I'm doing wrong. I'm not opposed to taking criticism, so definitely let me know. But I'll just show you the way I do it. So let's imagine that we just went to the range, we got home, we cleaned our gun. Now we want to put it back together. Um, First thing I usually do, because my cleaning solutions, which is a either Hoppies or Ballistol, they have oil in them, or they're oil-based cleaners or solvents. I don't oil anything up. Now, if you live in a humid state, what you need to do if you're gonna store the gun for a long time, especially if you have a lot of guns like I do, they get used, once every few months. You want to apply a generous amount of lube to the inside of the barrel. But me, I don't live in a humid state, so I don't do that. The oil that the cleaner leaves in there, that's plenty enough for me to keep it from rusting. Now, if you do apply oil in there, extra oil, make sure to remove it before you go shooting next time. Or if this is your home protection gun, don't put any oil in there, okay? Because you need to remove that. If you don't, the pressures in the chamber can rise by quite a bit, and there are ways that you can squib a bullet or you can just blow it up. So you got to be very careful with that. Um, so what I use, imagining that we just cleaned it, I don't lube anything yet. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of grease on my rails. And my grease, if you've seen my Beretta, my gun cleaning video, I use grease for my slides, and this is my homemade applicator basically. I bought these syringes from, I think it was I'm gonna say Walmart or maybe King Supers, depending on your states. Any pharmacy really. You don't need a prescription for these because they're pretty big and the needles are pretty thick. I break the needle off of it because, knowing me, I want to poke myself with those things. I break the needle off of it, but it works, just fine without the needle. And I put my grease in there, and the grease is Mobile One. It's a synthetic wheel bearing grease, Mobile One. It's the red stuff. It's been designed to withstand high temperatures, and even if it gets really hot and it liquefies, it doesn't run like oil does, or it doesn't dry. It stays put. So it's very nice. I really like using these, and I paid $5 for a giant tub, as opposed to $8 for one of those little tubes at the gun store. So it works really well. Doesn't have much of a smell to it, and it doesn't run. So that's the main reason I do that. So once I got the gun cleaned, I'll take now this, we already did a reassembly on this, and I've already greased it. But the way I do it is we put grease in the rail, and I'll put maybe 3 dots. We'll do like 1, 2, and 3. And then on the other side, we'll do again 1, 2, and 3. Here, we'll just do it now. So I'll just go squeeze some of that grease out. We'll just do 1 dot, 2 dots. Now this already has grease in it, so I won't put 3, but You can put 3 down there. Okay, once you got that in there, then we'll do this side. I'll put 1 dot in there, and then you can put 2 and 3 there also. I already have grease on there. I don't want to overdo it. Then what I'll do is I'm just going to grab it and put it aside. Then I'm going to grab my slide and I'm going to put some in the slide. Now this already has it, so we'll just do 1 dot, but do 1 or 2 or 3 dots. Use your own discretion. I would say put 3 in there also, but I'm going to put 1 and 2 on this side, and 1 and 2 on this side. Okay, now once I got the grease in, I will go ahead and reassemble the gun. I'll put it all back together and I put it in the safe. Now next what I'll do is when I go to the range to shoot it, I take it back down again. I'll tie it back down. Then the next thing I will do is when I'm ready to go to the range, or anytime I want to use it, maybe go to the mountains or something, basically, is I'll do a little bit more lubing with a liquid lube, kind of like this Pro 7 that I have. Now I'm using this applicator. You don't have to have one of these. Any applicator works. You can even do what I did with the grease and get 2 of these and squirt the lube out. But this I found works really well. The only issue I have is it leaks a little bit, so if I put it in my cleaning stuff, it leaks over time. This was full, half full, before I started storing it in the drawer like this, and there's only like that much left. So from now on, I'm going to store it like that. But all right, getting off topic. So we got the slide greased and the frame greased, and that's really all I do after I clean it. And I put everything back together and it's good to go. And then when I go to the range, what I'll do is with a 1911, I will apply a little bit of oil on the barrel, on the lugs, and then the lugs inside the slide. So what I'll do is put maybe 1-2 drops on the lugs, and then a little bit on the barrel, and I'll just work that in with my finger. And I do this at the range. Make sure it's nice and covered, nice and lubed. If you look at the wear marks, the slide doesn't go any further than this area. So if you need to lube just like from that point on, you don't need to waste lube back here. Just kind of, just make sure it's nice and slippery right here. So I'll lube that. Then what I'll do, I'll grab my frame and I put 1 dot right here behind the sear, or the release. I just put 1 dot of oil right there. That's 1. And every 4 or 5 range trips, I will put a dot right down in the neck of the hammer. Okay, and that's it. And so that's basically all lube. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's back together now. We're going to have some excess grease back here because, I've already put plenty in there. Just going to take this stuff off, and I'm just going to cycle it and let all the grease and everything work its way in. And I'm going to pull the trigger, and that 1 drop of oil that we put on the hammer is going to work its way down to the sear and lubricate the area between the hammer and the sear. Now, there you go. Now, if a 1911 happens to be your carry gun, up to greasing part is fine. Greasing the frame and the slide is fine. But I wouldn't put any oil on the barrel or in the hammer or on the recoil guide rod, mainly because it collects lint and stuff inside, and if you have oil it can run into your clothes and it can be a pain in the you know what. So I wouldn't put any oil on there, and I would run the gun without any oil on there at the range to make sure it functions correctly. But oil has a tendency to collect a lot of lint and stuff off your clothes, and that can cause jams and other things that might hurt your chances in a survival situation. So yeah, that's basically the way I lube it. When you're putting the gun back together after cleaning, greasing the frame and the slide, and then when you go to the range to shoot it, you put oil on the barrel and on the barrel lugs, and that's it. If your gun, like mine, happens to have a guide rod, and I didn't tell you what to do with this because not a lot of 1911s have that, but if yours has that, what you need to do is basically put a drop of oil on there and then wait for gravity to pull it down so it kind of goes and surrounds it, and then just release your slide and work it back and forth, and it's good to go. Now that's lubed. So yeah, that's it. Put the mag back in, and yeah, that'll do it. Let me know, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments. Alright, see ya.